I love chicken soup dumplings. Oh my gosh. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and today's video I'm sharing my Walmart grocery haul with you guys. It has actually been over a month since I've done a Walmart grocery haul, and there were definitely some essential items. I'm just remembering the one thing that I wanted to get I didn't get today, and that was soy sauce we needed, and I forgot to because that's one thing I usually get at Walmart. But anyway, I'm going to be walking through everything that I got to help me stay on track with my journey. I'll include WeightWatchers points and pop the nutrition label on the screen for different items, and then I'll also be talking about how I incorporate these foods to create quick and easy meals that, again, help me to stay on track. So if you enjoy this video or find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Let's jump right in with produce. I can't believe I forgot the soy sauce. That was seriously one of the only things that I needed to remember because we've been out of it for a couple weeks and I forgot to get it last time I went to the store, but looks like I'll be making a separate trip to get some soy sauce. I do have some coconut aminos which work. Anyway though, I have a lot of produce today that I picked up. Specifically, I had in mind that I want to make some fresh salsa. I just make it in the blender using canned tomatoes, but whenever I do that, I need fresh cilantro. This is 0 points on WeightWatchers, and I mostly just use it to make different salsas or guacamole. Maybe I'll even make a batch of corn salsa. I feel like I haven't made that in a while, and it's like the copycat chipotle version, so it's always one of my favorites. So I got cilantro for that. I also got some jalapeno peppers that I'll use for salsa, and then some yellow onions. I got some extra because I won't use all of these to make the medium salsa, but I will use some for veggie mix and just other recipes I make. Sometimes I'll do like sauteed peppers and onions for fajitas or tacos. I always need some onions on hand. And like I said, for veggie mix, I also got my normal bell peppers and then some zucchini. Actually, last night I made a dinner that I just chopped up some zucchini, popped it on a foil, and roasted it up really quickly in the oven. And then I mixed it in with the pasta, red sauce, and chicken sausage. And I made a really quick and easy meal, but it's just one of those really simple vegetables that I can incorporate with a lot of things. A lot of the time I end up just chopping it up and cooking it in a pan on the stove or in the oven with a little bit of olive oil spray and some seasonings. So 0 points, but it helps to bulk up some meals, and same with peppers. I also got some carrot chips. So I feel like we've gone through different phases with carrots where I used to get the shredded ones and then I was getting like the baby carrots. Then we tried these carrot chips and they have become my favorite. I really enjoy these, even just to snack on, but also in my soup and in stir fry mix when I make it. So I'll usually just chop these into a little bit of smaller pieces and then mix it in with some broccoli, some onions, peppers, and then put it on rice or sesame noodles. I also like to cut it up and use it for egg scrambles and just different veggie mixes. So another 0 point option that adds a little bit of fiber, and specifically I've really been enjoying the chips. I did get some green beans, which sometimes I'll use this for stir fry mixed with like the carrots and stuff that I mentioned, but I also like to mix it with mushrooms and onions and a little bit of garlic and Parmesan and make it into a side dish. That I usually cook on the stove. You could also roast these in the oven. That really is nice and flavorful, especially when you add some different like garlic and onion seasonings, and again, just a little olive oil spray. You can also steam them in the bag, but usually I like to just take them out and either roast them or cook them on a pan. Okay, I've been feeling like I haven't had fruit. I really just needed to go to the grocery store in general because I was just running out of options at home and it was making it easier to justify takeout food. But I always talk about setting myself up for success, whether it's having ingredients prepped or just having these ingredients in the fridge in general. It helps me more to just stay organized, have options. And so I've been feeling like I haven't had fruit to have after my breakfasts or lunches, and it's made me want to snack on something sweet. So I made sure to get some fruit this time. I got some pineapple, which this was actually on sale, which was nice because sometimes I don't like to justify how expensive the pre-cut pineapple is versus just buying a pineapple. But this was on sale, so I'll use this up in the next couple days and probably just have it as a side with my breakfasts and lunches. If I do like a snack plate, it's always a good option. And then sometimes I like to cut it up and add it to pizza, but we'll see if I use it for this because this one's really juicy, so I kind of just want to eat it plain. Then I also got grapes for that same reason. So again, it felt like I hadn't had grapes in a while. I think I just didn't get them last time we went to the store, so I've been out of them, but these are just red grapes that I like to have with my snack plates after my breakfast, my lunch. I never say dinner because dinner I always have an apple after, so these are usually the fruits that I like to have throughout the day. And I'll just wash them off, put them in a little bowl, and then have them with like cheese and crackers, or if I'm making like a sandwich, it's always nice to have a fruit after, or even like a bowl, I always have something sweet. Grapes are a great option for that. And then like I said, I have my Honey Crisp, or actually Cosmic Crisp apple after dinner every day. Today I went with Cosmic Crisp and I stocked up because they looked really good. Hopefully they are. They've been lacking flavor a little bit, and that always happens around this time of year. They're just like not as sweet because they're not as in season, but these are a nice size. And like I said, I like to have one every single day after I finish up eating my dinner because I crave something sweet right away. Helps me to get a little fiber and get a little bit more full, and then later in the night I'll still typically have a dessert, but I keep it lightened up, and usually the apple just helps to make me a little bit more satisfied. Got some bananas, which we use for protein shakes, bowls of cereal, sometimes just plain. Sometimes I'll even just have a plain one before the gym, but most of the time we're using them for like creamies or ice cream bowls, or like I said, cereal. I also grabbed some sweet potatoes, which are 0 points for me on WeightWatchers, so I'll probably roast these up and use them as either a side with like burgers and some type of dinner, or breakfast. I really like to use roasted sweet potatoes as a base with some eggs, and I make like a breakfast skillet type thing. So I haven't decided exactly what I'll do with these, but grabbed a couple of them so I can have just a more filling meal with some sweet potatoes. And sometimes I'll just make them all at once and then have them prepped in a container in the fridge. They usually reheat pretty well in the air fryer. Then more potatoes that I got. So these are the Simply Potatoes brand. They're their shredded hash browns, and they are 0 points on WeightWatchers. Not for all plans, but specifically for me they are. So I really like to incorporate them to make more filling breakfasts out of them. I don't really use the shredded hash browns for anything other than breakfasts, but the diced potatoes I really like to use as a base for like taco bowls or chicken bacon ranch bowl. But maybe I could do something with the shredded hash browns too like that, because I really enjoy these. They are 0 points, 70 calories, 15 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of protein for the 2/3 cup serving, which I usually just start with the regular serving size when having 0 point potatoes. Other 0 point foods like vegetables, I'm not as like picky about the serving size, but when it comes to even like proteins and potatoes and stuff, I try to just be a little bit more aware. I grabbed some pickles. So these are the Grillo's pickle chips. I love the flavor of them. These are in the refrigerated section, and something that I always forget at Walmart because they're just a section that I never look at. It's usually over by like the cheese and stuff. They're 0 points on WeightWatchers, 5 calories, and just one of my favorite things to have with my snack plates, especially with tuna. I love pickles and tuna together, so I'll have some of these and either scoop the tuna with it or I'll chop them up and mix them in the tuna. But these have really good flavor, and I specifically like the chips like this. Okay, I got some canned produce and some freezer items. So first, the freezer produce. I got a bigger bag of this. I don't know how I haven't noticed this before. Usually I buy like the smaller microwave bags, but I figured this makes more sense because I usually just take a portion out when I'm making stuff with this. I really like to use this mix for soup and then maybe like fried rice. That's probably what I use it for the most. Other than that, it's 50 calories and it's got 3 grams of fiber in the 2/3 cup serving. It's 0 points on WeightWatchers, and this mix has carrots, corn, green beans, and peas. Then I also got a big bag of frozen berries. I've actually got Adam onto my yogurt bowls now. Now that we found a yogurt that doesn't upset his stomach because it's lactose free, he's been having more and more of them, and he likes to do the frozen fruit like I do, where I just put it in a bowl and heat it in the microwave and then mix the yogurt with it. And specifically microwaving these, it does get some liquid, but I've been finding with the yogurt that we use, because it's on the thicker side, when you mix it all together, it is the perfect consistency. It's been so enjoyable. So that's why I got a giant bag of this cherry berry blend. It's 70 calories for the cup, and it's got 3 grams of fiber. It's 0 points on WeightWatchers, and this has strawberries, blueberries, pitted dark sweet cherries, and pitted red tart cherries. So a really good mix, especially with like a peanut butter or cinnamon cereal. Sometimes I'll even drizzle some peanut butter or add a couple dark chocolate chips in, but this has been my favorite base for yogurt bowls. And then, like I said, some canned produce. So for the salsa, I like to just use a can of tomatoes like this. These are just whole tomatoes. I also got some petite diced tomatoes, which are 0 points. And sometimes I'll do like a can and a half, or like the big can in this can, to make the batch so that we have some extra salsa. But otherwise, I'll use these tomatoes to make like Spanish style rice or like a Mexican veggie mix. I also got some cans of black beans. And if they do have it, I try to grab the no salt added. These are 0 points on WeightWatchers. calories and a really good higher fiber, high protein option. So for the half cup, it's 120 calories and it's got 6 grams of fiber and 7 grams of protein. I like to make different vegetable mixes, like I said, maybe with some corn and those tomatoes, or sometimes I'll just cook up the beans and use them as a base if I'm doing like enchilada bakes or something, or I want them mixed with like a meat and some tortillas. It's really easy to throw these together and it's nice to have these on hand. I just finished up my last can of them. Then I also grabbed some rotel, which is similar to the diced tomatoes, but it also has green chilies in it. I get the original. I find that the mild and the hot are too spicy for me, but I do like the original. And again, it's just another ingredient to have on hand to add some type of like vegetable to meals, add some flavor, and just bulk it up combined with the protein that I'm using, whether it's like ground beef or ground chicken or turkey, and then maybe rice or tortillas. It just depends what we're having, but rotel is always a staple item I like to have in the pantry. Okay, then I think that is it for the produce that I grabbed today. So moving on to some proteins. We did need some bacon. So this is center cut bacon, which is lower in points on WeightWatchers than other bacon. It's 2 points for 2 slices, 60 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, and 5 grams of protein. I'll just take this and bake it all at once in the oven, and then we have it prepped and ready in the fridge to add to breakfast bowls, breakfast burritos, sandwiches, or sometimes even lunch items if I'm making like a bowl and I want to do like chicken bacon ranch like I mentioned before, or even a BLT wrap or something. It's just always nice to have this prepped and ready in the fridge, and we're all out of bacon. I also got this big thing of chicken. So this is almost 5 pounds of chicken, and it's just regular chicken breast. I'm going to marinate and then probably just cook up on my griddle. It's still been kind of cold for grilling outside, so that's probably how I will cook this. But I've been letting it sit overnight in the fridge to marinate, and I find that it has such good flavor. It's such a nice option to have ready in the fridge when it's cooked because I can add it to a bunch of different meals. Like I've already mentioned a bunch, I like to make rice bowls, I like to make wraps, pasta. So having this ready makes it so much more convenient, and it makes me so much less likely to be tempted by takeout food and just more convenient high point options. The chicken breast is 0 points on WeightWatchers. Then I also got some ground chicken breast. So they've been having this one more lately where it's 98% lean, and that is 0 points. Anywhere from 90 to 100% is 0 points on WeightWatchers. This has 120 calories and 25 grams of protein in it. This is something that I usually make into taco meat, although actually I got ground turkey this time too. And this one is 3 pounds. So I think I'm gonna do the 3 pounds as taco meat. I think with these, I'm going to either make chicken burgers or meatballs. We had really good buffalo meatballs I made like a month ago now, and I've been craving them again. So maybe I'll do some buffalo meatballs with this. But then, like I said, I got this lean ground turkey. This is 93% lean, so 0 points on WeightWatchers. It's 170 calories, 8 grams of fat, and 22 grams of protein. And I'll just make this whole batch at once. I cook it up in a pan on the stove, and then once it's cooked, I strain it, add water, and then I add taco seasoning, and then we've got a nice big batch of this ready in the fridge to add to nachos, burritos, rice bowls, all that stuff. It's so convenient to have it ready. We've also been out of turkey pepperoni, and I've been wanting to make some 2-ingredient dough pizzas. So this is just the Great Value brand. It is 2 points for the serving on WeightWatchers of about 16 slices, 70 calories, 4 grams of fat, and 9 grams of protein in that serving. And sometimes I'll just do a 1 point serving, which is about 10 slices. Usually I try to keep it at a certain amount of points when I make the pizzas because the dough adds a lot. So I'll just do like 10 for a point on WeightWatchers, but I prefer the turkey pepperoni. It doesn't give me heartburn like regular pepperoni, so that's why I like it. And it does have some extra protein in it. I grabbed some imitation crab, which I like to use for different sushi inspired recipes, or even like sesame noodles or poke bowls. It is 3 points on WeightWatchers for the serving of a half cup. So there's 5 servings in here. For that serving, it's 80 calories, 14 carbs, 3 grams of sugar, and 6 grams of protein. And it just really satisfies my craving for those specific foods because we love getting sushi and we love getting that type of takeout. So when I can make lightened up versions at home, it really helps me to stay on track, and I got this for that reason. I also really like to make pasta with it, and I haven't made pasta with crab in a while. My favorite is like a crab rangoon style pasta, so maybe I'll even do that because I've got some Laughing Cow to use up. Speaking of Laughing Cow, let's go ahead and move on to some dairy. I actually didn't get Laughing Cow today, but I did need some cheeses, so I grabbed some grated Parmesan. This is 4 points for the serving of a 1/3 cup, although I don't always use the full serving. Usually I'll just use like 1 to 2 points worth to top my dishes, or even just like mix in a pasta. Or like I mentioned, that green bean onion mushroom mix, I like to use this cheese for that. For a third cup, it's 110 calories, 7 grams of fat, 2 carbs, and 10 grams of protein. Then I also got their reduced fat mozzarella cheese. So this is 3 points for the serving of a quarter cup, 70 calories, 4 grams of fat, 3 carbs, and 8 grams of protein. I use this for the pizza bakes like I mentioned, and then pasta, eggs, sandwiches, anything that I add cheese to. I really enjoy using mozzarella, especially because it is a lower point option usually, and it melts pretty well. So this is the reduced fat version, but it is 3 points on Weight Watchers. I also got some thin sliced cheese, and they had the Colby Jack today. This is one of my favorites when I make tuna melts, and I like to do them open-faced, where I use whatever bread I'm doing, I add the tuna, and then I'll do like a thin slice of cheese like this, because it melts so nicely, and then each half of the sandwich can get a slice of cheese. For the serving of 3 slices, it's 6 points, so each thin slice is 2 points on Weight Watchers. For 3 slices, it's 120 calories, 10 grams of fat, and it's got 8 grams of protein in that serving. Okay, then I mentioned that yogurt that we've really been enjoying, so this has become my new favorite as well. I always talk about the Dan and Light and Fit Greek yogurt, but this one has kind of replaced that. This is the Chobani 20 grams of protein, 0 added sugar yogurt. It is 3 points for 1 container, and they've got some flavored ones that are 4 points. Actually, I got one of them today. This one I hadn't seen before. It is strawberry kiwi. This is 4 points on Weight Watchers, but it's got 140 calories, 3 grams of fat, 8 carbs, 7 grams of sugar with no added sugar, and then 20 grams of protein. I just love that these have 20 grams of protein in them, and I like that they're more on the thick side. This one I might just have with some frozen strawberries that I heat up, and then any type of granola that would go with this, maybe something that's like cinnamon or honey. But this is the strawberry kiwi flavor. And then for Adam and I, for yogurt bowls, I got us 2 of these. This is the vanilla flavor, and like I said, this one's 3 points, 140 calories, 3 grams of fat, 9 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 7 grams of sugar, and 20 grams of protein. And these are lactose free. I grabbed some fat-free milk, and this is also lactose free. Just a great value brand, and it is 3 points for the serving of a cup. So a lot of the time we like to use this to make protein shakes blended with a banana and some protein powder. It's 90 calories for the cup, 13 carbs, 12 grams of sugar with 0 added, and 8 grams of protein. I also like to use this for different sauces if I'm making like a cheesy pasta sauce or mac and cheese or a bowl of cereal. It's always nice to have some milk on hand. And again, this is one of those things that for the past week I have needed it and we haven't had it. So I've actually just been using vanilla protein shakes in place of milk for certain things, but obviously that doesn't work for like mac and cheese and garlicky sauces. So I needed to grab some of this, and it's 3 points for the cup. Okay, and then I recently tried this Dunkin' cold brew concentrate. I've really been enjoying the Dunkin' cold brew concentrates for my protein coffee in general. I started with the pumpkin spice one, and I was obsessed with that for like a year. Then I really liked the s'mores flavor. That got harder to find, and I haven't been able to find it lately. But now they have this butter pecan flavor, and it is so good, especially mixed with the salted caramel protein shake that I use from Quest. I have been loving the combination, and I don't even need that much of the coffee, even though I try to limit myself in general. I try not to do too much, but the 6-ounce serving is always perfect. It's 15 calories and 3 carbs, and I just really like this butter pecan flavor. Okay, really quick, back to dairy. I forgot I got some plain Chobani. So I like to get the big container of this because I use it for different recipes, whether I'm making a sauce. Whenever I do my 0 point days, I use so much of this stuff because it's just really convenient to make into sauces, and it's 0 points and a lot of protein. I also like to use it to make 2-ingredient dough. For the serving of 3/4 cup, it's 0 points, 90 calories, and it's got 16 grams of protein. I find that I have the most success making 2-ingredient dough when I use this specific brand of yogurt. I also needed some light sour cream, something I've been craving on my like taco bowls and tacos, and I just haven't had it lately. And Greek yogurt is a good substitute for that, but sometimes I just want some sour cream, and this is the Daisy Light Sour Cream. So this is 2 points for the serving of 2 tablespoons, and a lot of the time I'll just use 1 tablespoon, sometimes mixed with some taco sauce to make a quick and easy sauce I can drizzle on nachos and stuff. But it's 35 calories, 2.5 grams of fat, 1 carb, 1 gram of sugar, and 2 grams of protein in that serving of 2 tablespoons. I needed some eggs, and we've also been going through these pretty quickly. I think because I keep making hard-boiled eggs, and I just use them for breakfast a lot of the time, especially when I've got things like the shredded potatoes and stuff. It's really quick and easy for me to throw together breakfast scrambles that help me start off the day with something filling that's got some protein and vegetables. But eggs are 0 points. points. They're a nice source of protein, and it's been nice to have some prepped hard-boiled eggs that I can have with snack plates, or they even make me crave salads. I'm not a huge fan of salads, but with hard-boiled eggs, I really like them. So I've been having those more recently, and it's just been nice to have those prepped and ready and just have some extra eggs on hand. Okay, next up, we've got some quick pantry items. So I needed some more olive oil spray. This is what I always talk about when I mention coating things in seasoning. If it's like vegetables or potatoes, I usually just spray a little bit of this, and it's just the Great Value brand. This was on clearance. It was $1, and that's why I ended up getting it. I don't know how good it will be, but I've never seen the caramel flavored popcorn spray. So I always buy their movie theater butter spray, and I really like that on air pop popcorn. And I'm hoping this one tastes really good. It says spray on popcorn, ice cream, baked goods, desserts, or wherever your imagination takes you. So I'll have to try that. It's 25 calories for a teaspoon, so actually this might have points in it. I'll have to double check, but I'm excited to see how this is. Never seen it before, but it was already on clearance for only $1, so we'll see. I needed some more barbecue sauce, so this time I decided to go with the sweet and smoky flavor to mix it up. I've been getting the original every time, but this is the Sweet Baby Ray's no sugar added barbecue. It is 0 points on WeightWatchers, 15 calories, 1 gram of sugar, 4 carbs, and 1 gram of protein. And I just love this barbecue sauce with chicken. Whenever I make my favorite takeout meal at home, the barbecue mac and cheese, I like to use this brand for the barbecue sauce. I'll mix it with whatever protein I use, usually chicken, and then I also drizzle some on top. And then just anything else I need barbecue sauce for. Sometimes even with like fries or sweet potato fries, I crave like a barbecue ranch. So I'll just mix a little bit of this with some Bolthouse ranch and make it barbecue flavored, and it is perfect. I'm excited to have the sweet and smoky because it's been a while since I've had this one. Then some Taco Bell items I got because I've been wanting to make some copycat Taco Bell at home, and I forgot we really enjoyed this the last time we tried it. This is their spicy bean dip, and it really helps to be able to make some copycat meals at home using these ingredients because it tastes just like it, but I can add my own proteins, and I usually double them up. It's much cheaper, and I can also add some different vegetables and stuff and just make it how I know it's actually made. This is 1 point for the serving of 2 tablespoons, 30 calories, 1 gram of fat. It's got 4 carbs and 2 grams of protein, and it is kind of like a tomato-based sauce, but it is a bean dip and works really well on nachos, enchiladas, burritos, all of those things when I'm trying to make some copycat Taco Bell at home. I also got their queso, and this is the mild. They have a medium as well that's more spicy, but I like this one. Sometimes I'll even just use like 1 tablespoon mixed with some ground taco meat, and it makes it so cheesy and good and doesn't add too many points. For the serving of 2 tablespoons, this one is 3 points on WeightWatchers. I miss the old Trader Joe's queso that was only 1 point for 2 tablespoons, but they haven't brought that back in years now. This one is 90 calories though for 2 tablespoons, 7 grams of fat, 4 carbs, 3 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of protein. Then we needed some different packets of marinade, so I got some lemon pepper, which we actually tried this last time and really enjoyed this. It's technically like a wing seasoning mix, but I just mixed some water, a little olive oil, and then the chicken breast, and I let it marinate overnight, and it was so flavorful, and it had the perfect hint of lemon. Some other flavors I got to try. This is always our favorite, the zesty herb, so I had to grab one of these. We haven't tried the Nashville hot, so I'm excited to see how this one is. And then the garlic parmesan is another one of my favorites. It's got such good garlicky seasoning. This one was a new one. These are all like wing seasonings, but they work as marinades. It is Asian lime, so I'm really excited for that. I feel like that'll make some really good shredded chicken maybe that we can add to taco bowls, like copycat chipotle, or maybe even like stir fry. I feel like Asian lime might be good with like stir fry chicken, that type of stuff. We'll have to see, but I'll probably just use it like a normal marinade packet. And then I grabbed another one of these. This is the spicy ranch. So in one of my recent videos where I talked about weight loss food swaps and using Greek yogurt mixed with seasoning packets, this is one of my favorites to make ranch because it's got some extra like zesty flavor to it because it's spicy ranch. I'll mix this with some Greek yogurt. Sometimes I'll add in a little sour cream or mayo depending on what I'm making, if I want it as like a dressing, but this has really good flavor. Then before the gym, I haven't found a pre-workout that I really enjoy, and I don't take it every day, but sometimes I do like to have some caffeine for my workout. So I've been trying to find just like cheaper ways that I can do that while also staying hydrated, and I found these today. They were like, I want to say less than $2 for this pack, which there's 10 in here. And I was comparing them to like the Alani packets and the Celsius, which were like $10 for I think like a 10 pack. So it seemed much more pricey. I'm just curious to see how these are and if the caffeine is a good amount. They are pomegranate lemonade energy drink mixes. So they're sugar-free, low calorie. It says high in 5B vitamins and 120 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You just mix it with 16 ounces of water. So I'm gonna try these out before the gym. Usually on like my heavier leg days, I like to have some caffeine. Hopefully this will be a good option. Okay, we needed some more tortillas. So our favorite, these are the La Banderita low carb tortillas. For one, it is 1 point on WeightWatchers, 60 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 15 carbs, 12 grams of fiber, and 3 grams of protein. I definitely prefer these cooked. So whether that's air fried or if I put ingredients in it and put it back on the stove to kind of get it nice and toasted, or in the oven, I like to make enchilada bakes and pop them in the glass baking dishes that I have. And then I just put them in the oven and they get nice and soft, especially with like the cheese and the meat. But these are always a great option for a lower calorie, higher fiber tortilla. And I actually got 2 packs because we go through these pretty quickly. I also got some of these Joseph's flax, oat bran, and whole wheat pita breads. These are 1 point for each pita, which is really nice. I feel like I don't know any other 1 point pita breads, but these have good flavor and they work really well. They're filling, 60 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 2 grams of fiber, and 6 grams of protein. And you can put things in them like this, but a lot of the time I like to use them as kind of like a flatbread, and I'll either make them into pizzas with some red sauce, pepperoni, and mozzarella, or I really like to use these as like a breakfast pizza. So I'll put some scrambled eggs, some bacon, although half the time I end up folding it and it turns into like a breakfast taco. But at one point it is really nice to be able to have 1 to 2 of these. Okay, I guess I only got 2 things in the freezer section, other than the vegetables, but I love steamed dumplings, specifically the chicken flavor. We usually get them from Trader Joe's, but we also like the Bibigo brand. And when I was getting these today, I realized there's a great value option. So I got both of them because, like I said, we really enjoy them. I could honestly eat these every single day. They're so good, but I wanted to compare the two and see because these were $1 cheaper. And actually these are a point less on WeightWatchers. So for these, it's 7 points on WeightWatchers for the tray. So each one comes with a tray with 6 dumplings, 250 calories, 7 grams of fat, 34 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 2 grams of sugar, and 15 grams of protein. And these also come with sauce packets. We don't always use them, but a lot of the time I'll just heat these up and then add them to my bowl with like fried rice, or if we're doing sesame noodles, it's a nice side. Then these ones are 6 points for the tray, 280 calories, 8 grams of fat, 40 carbs, 3 grams of fiber, 4 grams of sugar, and 12 grams of protein. Also in the freezer section, I grabbed some True Fruit today. I really debated it because it seems like it's gone up in price. This bag was like $7, but it's just something that I have been craving so much. So I will make this last and I will enjoy it. It's a nice little treat to have every now and then. For the serving of an ounce, which is about 4 to 5 pieces, it's 4 points on WeightWatchers, 90 calories, 5 grams of fat, 9 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 7 grams of sugar, and 1 gram of protein. And the reason I got this one too today is because it is the dark chocolate with raspberries, which is my all-time favorite. And I have not been able to find the dark chocolate lately. It's only been the milk chocolate that I've seen. So I had to just grab a bag and I'll just keep this in the freezer as a nice sweet treat option. Sometimes I'll just have like 1 to 2 pieces when I really want chocolate, or I'll just have like a full serving as my dessert. Okay, then the last few items that I grabbed, I really like this Cheerios protein cereal, specifically this flavor, cookies and cream. I think this is also Adam's favorite. We like the strawberry and the cinnamon, but I definitely like this one because it kind of just reminds me of like Lucky Charms cereal a little bit, and it works really well on yogurt bowls. I don't really have it as a bowl of cereal that often, but sometimes I do because it's got a little extra protein. For the serving of a cup, it's 5 points on WeightWatchers, 150 calories, 2.5 grams of fat, 24 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 11 grams of sugar, and 8 grams of protein. So when I have it as a bowl of cereal, it does add some extra protein to have the milk with it, and then I usually cut up a banana on top, or I just use like a 2-point serving that I weigh out to add onto my yogurt bowl to add some crunch. Then I got some Bobos. These are my favorite before the gym. I wish they weren't 6 points per bite, but I like to have them in moderation every now and then. And like I said, they're really nice as a quick on-the-go snack before the gym, especially when I don't have breakfast zucchini cookies prepped or some type of like pancake bite or something I can just grab really quick in the morning. For one, it's 6 points, 140 calories, 4 grams of fat, 25 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 10 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. They are gluten-free, dairy-free, and plant-based. And like I said, just something I enjoy in moderation. I wish wish they were bigger, but I really do enjoy the apple filling in the middle. And I keep saying that I want to make my own version at home. So one of these days I'm going to actually do that. I was thinking about making like a raspberry jelly version. So once I do that, I will definitely share it with you guys. But until then, I've got these for the pantry. Okay, and then the last thing that I grabbed today, these are Drizzlicious. So I think the birthday cake is my favorite flavor. I do like the s'mores, and I feel like we've liked most of the flavors that we've tried. I think the pumpkin spice was one I didn't really enjoy. But anyway, for the serving of an ounce, it is 4 points on WeightWatchers, and it's about 28 pieces for that serving. It's 120 calories, 4 grams of fat, 21 carbs, 7 grams of sugar, and 1 gram of protein. And sometimes I'll also mix them into my snack mixes if I'm doing like a sweet snack mix with some air pop popcorn. I'll do like one of the sweet popcorn toppers on it. Maybe now I'll even try the caramel corn on the popcorn, so that might be really good. But it's just a nice sweet snack that I have in moderation. Sometimes I'll do the full serving, sometimes I'll do half in a snack mix. Then this is a new one. I don't think we've tried this. I have to go back to our snack reviews and check, because if we haven't, maybe I'll save this one for a snack review. But this is their lemon cake bites flavor. So this is 120 calories for the serving of 28 pieces. And this one actually said it was 6 points on WeightWatchers. I wanted to compare. Everything is the same on here though. So I don't know if it's scanned in correctly. It's also 120 calories, 4 grams of fat, 21 carbs, 7 grams of sugar, and a gram of protein. Everything's the exact same. I need to double check in my WeightWatchers app. But either way, I'm excited to see how these ones are. These puffs are made with chia, quinoa, and flax. They're gluten-free, vegan, and allergen-free, and just an option that I don't buy all the time, but they had them in a bunch of different spots in Walmart today, so they kept popping up, and I just decided to grab them. So that wraps up everything I got today for my Walmart grocery haul. I am feeling so good. The past week, I've just felt like we didn't have ingredients that I wanted to be able to make meals. And like I mentioned, it makes it so much easier to convince myself to then just get takeout or get something that's not gonna make me feel as good, not helping me work towards my goals. So stocking up on lots of these proteins, these vegetables and fruits, and also just the ingredients that I can make copycat versions at home of meals I really enjoy and things like that. I feel really prepared for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this and found it helpful. I will have the prices at the end of this video. I shared walking around the store and grabbing everything where it's at and the prices. So that'll wrap up this video, but I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.